Welcome, my name is Andrea Edwards, and I am delighted to introduce you to my friend, Grant Rawlinson, otherwise known as Axe. I've done a podcast with Axe before, and it was great, and he's about to do his next human-powered adventure, and we're going to talk about that. So welcome, Axe.
Hi, Andrea. Nice to be back here. How's things?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. It's intense in the world, right?
It sure is. It's a crazy time.
So it's good to be involved with what you're doing and contributing and giving something back to the world, right? That's what it's all about. Yeah. All right. So we're here to talk about the Million Baht swim. But before we do, I think, especially for the community in Phuket, they might not know you very well yet. I'm sure they will soon. You're getting all this media coverage. You're turning into a local superstar. But yeah, so before we go into the details of the Million Baht swim, let's start with an introduction to you, like what you do and why you do it.
Sure. So I'm originally from New Zealand, but I left when I was about 21, and I've been based in Asia ever since. Now I'm 49, so that's quite a long time. Most of my life has been spent in Asia here, and Asia is where I based myself to pursue my life purpose, which is to make these exploratory human-powered journeys through the world's more remote environments. So over the last 25 years, together with my teams, we've walked across countries and cycled across continents and rowed across many seas and climbed many of the world's tallest mountains. And a few years ago, I think I was working with you on something, Andrea, and you encouraged me to make this more than about myself. So, I've kind of transitioned my purpose from not just about me making exploratory human-powered journeys over the last 3 years, but how can these journeys that I go on actually contribute to a brighter future for our planet? So now I put more emphasis on not just purely the adventure for adventure's sake, but also how can we do something good in return? How can I give back through these adventures as well?
Oh, that's so nice. I'm touched that I inspired you in some way.
You should be. You should be. Yeah.
I appreciate it. All right. So you've been on a lot of human-powered adventures, and I can see the image behind you, but give us a few highlights as well as motivations behind doing it in the first place.
Oh, highlights. Well, definitely. For me, a human-powered expedition is not just the expedition itself. It's this whole creative process of dreaming up the idea, coming up with the concept, and then trying to work out whether it's even possible. You never ever know that until you try. But then, the whole process, it might take 1 year, like the Million Baht swim has taken 8 months since conception to before we'll actually start undertaking it. But some of the projects might take 1 or 2 or 3 years of preparation, and you have to form teams and work with people and raise money and expedition budgets and go through logistics and risk assessments and safety and et cetera, et cetera. It's basically a huge project which involves a huge amount of commitment. So I love this entire process. I love the conceptual stage, coming up with the ideas. I love the preparation. I love the forming teams of like-minded people and getting people motivated to come along and be part of the journeys as well. And of course, going on the expedition is really a roller coaster. Some of it is amazing. Some of it is horrible. I don't want to sugarcoat some of the journeys that we've gone on. Definitely, some of them are pretty brutal. But even through the brutality of it, knowing that you're doing something which is basically your life purpose, it's not about enjoying so much as that's, for me, it's more about the sense of fulfillment. And even when things don't go very well, or we've been on painkillers for 21 days, or it's just very brutal and miserable, which it is at times. Just having that sense of fulfillment that you're doing what you're meant to do is a huge reward in itself.
Yeah,
Great.
And it's the inner strength that you find, right? Just knowing yourself,
Yep.
Just. I look back to so many of the experiences in my life with nothing compared to yours, but the misery is if you can sit in the misery as you're experiencing it and understand that you've got a story and personal growth for later, I think it's really powerful. Any highlights?
I mean, highlights are being outdoors in Mother Nature. I don't like big crowds of people. I don't like being around big crowds of people, even though that's part of my business is speaking to big crowds of people. But when I get the opportunity, I like to go outdoors and with as fewer people as possible. So there's just some magical times of the day when you're in Mother Nature, and they are generally the sunrise and the sunset. So being on mountains, high up on mountains during sunrise, watching the sunrise and the sunset, and being out at sea, watching the sunrise and the sunset. They are just you know the most mesmerizingly beautiful displays of just light and Mother Nature, and they only last for a few minutes. I guess that's what makes them so precious, right? But as the sun comes up in the morning and you're out at sea, sitting on the back deck of the boat, you've just gone through a tough night of rowing. It's been pitch dark the whole night, and then as you watch that sunrise in the morning for about 10 minutes, watch the colors change. It is just a magical experience, and I guess in general that would be one of the huge highlights for me.
Yeah, nice. The beauty of nature. All right, so your newest challenge, how did you come up with it?
Oh, the Million Baht Swim.
But I don't think people really know that you're not a swimmer. That's not one of your things. You can ride a bike, you can row a boat, but swimming is not necessarily something you've been doing before. So how are you feeling about the challenge ahead? Do you want to just describe what the challenge is and then how you're feeling about it?
So the Million Baht Swim is basically an attempt to swim around the island of Phuket, which is about 130 kilometers, circumnavigation of the entire island of Phuket. How did this idea come about? It was about a year ago. I mean, I've been in Phuket for about a year, and so maybe it wasn't even a year ago. Maybe it was about 10 or 11 months ago. I was on my bicycle, doing a morning bike ride with a friend, and we were over on the east coast of Phuket, and we stopped at a tiny little cafe, and it was overlooking the water. There was an island about 3 kilometers offshore, and the cafe owner said there were some names signed on the wall of the cafe, and the owner said, "Oh, if people come here and they swim out to the island and back, they get to sign their name on the wall." And so I asked him how far. He said it's like 3 kilometers out there, and I was like, 6 kilometers. I mean, I'm lucky if I can swim 60 meters at that particular stage. But that's when the idea first started, and I thought, wow, maybe I'd like to be able to sign my name on that wall sometime, and get good enough at swimming that I could swim that 6 kilometers. And as I started to think about it more and more, I started to I love looking at maps. I mean, literally, I just love looking at Google Earth all the time. It's like one of my habits or hobbies. And I started to think, wow, how about not just swimming just out 6 kilometers out to the island, but something bigger? What would be a bigger project? And as the years have gone by, and the whole issue with burning carbon and sustainability and that kind of thing, I've tried to center my expeditions closer to home. The last 7 or 8 years, I try not to fly to the other side of the world to have an adventure. I think, what can I do which is much closer to home? That's why crossing the Bay of Bengal in January or February this year started in Phuket, and my last big expedition before that was trying to travel from Singapore to New Zealand by human power, because I was living in Singapore. So I thought, what could I do in Phuket, which is even bigger in terms of swimming? And that's when the idea came. I thought, well, maybe I could try and swim around Phuket Island. That's how it started. How did the Million Bahts idea become integrated with the project? Really happened because as I just told you at the start, I try and make my expeditions bigger than just myself. How can we give back, to the community or the planet in some way? But B, how did the Million Baht idea come around was the fact that we were doing some renovation on our house here in Phuket, and we had some construction workers here. They were Burmese, as I found out. There's about, I don't know, over 2 months. Sometimes there was 5, sometimes there was 10 of them here. Half of them were women. And, you know, I always like to go out and have a bit of a chat to them and give them some food every day and, you know, give them some encouragement. But of course, language was a bit of an issue. So no problem, we'll use Google Translate. So I went out one morning and I had the phone with me, and I wrote something in the phone and converted it to Burmese and showed them, and they just gave me this blank stare. And I couldn't work it out for a few minutes. It was a bit awkward. And then my wife was there and she whispered to me that she doesn't think they can read. And, you know, I may have been a bit naive, you could call me that, but I was flabbergasted. I was shocked that, you know, you can come from a country or a community where you can't read and write your own language. And that's when the idea, and then I also learned from that experience that there was that these Burmese workers who obviously have come across the border from Myanmar because there's so much unrest over there at this particular time, and they I don't know what kind of legal status they have in Thailand, if they have any status at all, and their parents, you know, they're working on construction sites. Even the women are working on construction sites. What do the kids do during the day? A lot of them have no schools to go to. So that's where, you know, we come across the Good Shepherd School, which is built specifically to educate, you know, the Burmese migrant children. And that's where the connection really came, Andrea.
Yeah. The work that they're doing, Sister Luckner and the team down at Good Shepherd Phuket town is phenomenal. I did a video of the community it was after the very first lockdown in the pandemic, and I was there like the first day it was unlocked, and the people were able to go back out and they were able to fish, and there was lots of fish because the stocks of fish had sort of come back even just with the 2-month lockdown. But it's a hard life, and Sister Luckner also works with getting them the recognition and that they need so that they can, you know, they can get medical care and all those sort of things. So it's a really important thing that they're doing, and they're doing incredible work. And I don't think people really realise how desperate life is for so many millions of people around the world, and getting more desperate. But yeah, so I'm pleased that you're supporting that charity. It's a charity that I've very happy to support. There's lots of amazing charities going on around us, right? But yeah, so the idea is that the $1 million baht will be going towards building new classrooms. So expanding the scope, because there's so much construction in Phuket at the moment, which means there's more people from the Burmese community moving in. And you'll see if you come to Phuket how they live, and even how they live is going to be very, very challenging when we go into the next hot season, which is one of the things I'm really worried about. But yeah, so tell us more about, you know, what inspired you to do this for them. So just to give the kids a chance to learn their own language, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, the $1 million baht, it just so happened that when we approached the school and started talking to them, they were undergoing some extensions to the classrooms and the roof, putting on a new roof, etc., which the budget I think was 1.3 or 1.4 million baht, which they required. So hopefully, you know, the bulk of the money will help go towards that. And as well as that, I mean, when we visited the school, as Andrea, as you know, they have a lot of people, a lot of children jammed into some very, very small classrooms. I mean, it is like, I mean, you can't see the size of the room that I'm in at the moment, but it's like a standard bedroom size, some of them, and you might have 30 kids literally jammed in there. So this is not luxury accommodation by any means. So hopefully, you know, the classroom extensions, the money will go towards that. And we're also hoping to run a swimming education program with some of the students. We can't teach all of them to swim. I think there's over 400 kids, if I'm not wrong there. Correct me if I'm wrong, Andrea.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
About that, yeah. So, but we're hoping to teach some of them to swim as well. We just heard that a group of them were taken to one of the water parks here, and you know, none of them can swim. They all have to wear life jackets, even the older ones, and they're even going into you know, a swimming pool. So that's what we're trying to do, and this isn't going to solve all their problems by any means, but if we can all do something and we can all be a bit better, then I think that's what we need at this time.
Absolutely. And there's a lot of people in this community that work in the fishing industry, and they can't swim. So you can just imagine just from that perspective. So that could open up opportunities for them in the future. So it's a great thing. So how can the community, not just in Phuket but around the world, support you?
Yeah, great question. So, I mean, the Million Baht swim really is much more than just about me going for a swim. So that's why right from day one, I tried to get a team of people involved, and I'm just the one doing the swimming. But you're a part of the team. Thank you very much. You and Steve, your husband. And we have, I think, 8 or 10 people on the Million Baht swim team, and project managers and social media people, and our contacts with the school, and so this is really about a team effort, getting together to give back to the community, and we want as many of the community people to feel involved in this as well, to be part of it. So we have a few events coming up. The first one is going to be a talk one evening, an interactive. It's actually an interactive kind of team-based competition, which will be in a couple of weeks' time here in Phuket, where I'll be giving a talk, one of my talks about crossing the Bay of Bengal. We'll be inviting people along to work in teams and make decisions as if they're on that actual adventure. So that will be a great night. Lots of fun. There'll be a winning team from that. So please come along to that if you're here in Phuket. Second thing is that we're having a launch event for this on the 9th of December. It's called the Gala of the Sala, because the Sala Hotel was kindly offered to sponsor the start and the end of the event. So the Sala Hotel is on Mai Khao Beach. That will be the party of December, I'm led to believe, and Santa Claus is even coming to that. Not the fake Santa Claus, apparently the real one is actually going to be there. So come along to the Gala at the Sala. There's going to be something for everyone there. It's going to be a family event, lots of activities for the children, and a few activities for the parents a bit later on as well. So there should be lots of fun. And then there's the actual swim itself, which starts on January the 2nd over a period of 10 days, January the 2nd to January the 11th, something like that. During that, there is opportunities for people who are interested maybe to come out and swim for certain parts of it, or definitely swim the final part into on the final day, the last kilometer or two into the Sala Hotel at Mai Khao Beach. So lots of opportunities to get involved in different capacities. If people just want to donate, we have a donation link. Go to the Facebook page, the Million Baht Swim Facebook page, and there's a donation link there. You can donate as well. So we're always looking for more help from people. If people want to get involved to be part of the team, if people would like to donate certain things which we can auction off, that would be very welcome as well. So lots of opportunities for people to get involved. Andrea, great question.
Yeah, so follow the Facebook page or Instagram, the Million Baht Swim. 5-Star Marina are going to offer an auction item of a day out in a boat. And if you've ever been out with 5-Star, it's always an amazing day. So yeah, we're looking for lots of contributions, whether it's just supporting the events, donating to the cause, so that we can get these classrooms built. So thanks, Ax. I'm going to be there with you. I hope your shoulders hold up. my left shoulder, I haven't been able to do freestyle for about 6 months, so I feel that pain when you talk about it. So no, I'm looking forward to being part of it, and just like you say, doing some good in the world. That's what the world needs right now.
Yeah, and having fun on the journey as well. It doesn't all need to be grim. We can do good, we can give back, and we can all get along together and have fun while we're doing it. So Andrea, thank you for being a part of the team, and thank you for all the good work, the great work that you're doing in your own special way to make the world a better place.
Thanks, Dales. I appreciate it. All right, see you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Uncommon courage should be